Welcome back to the deep dive. This is where we try and make sense of, well, everything that's been happening this week. We're looking at tech, cybersecurity, some big societal stuff, and you've pulled together some amazing sources, articles, research, your notes. They really paint a picture of some fascinating shifts. So our mission today, connect those dots, find the hidden links, give you that shortcut to understanding what's really going on at the cutting edge. Okay, so what does this all mean for you? Let's find out. Let's jump right in. Starting with something, well, it sounds like it's straight out of a spy movie, but it's actually happening now. Balloons as spy gadgets.
Right, high-altitude balloons. It seems kind of old school, doesn't it?
Totally. But they're back in testing, and the reasons are surprisingly current. They're uncrewed, they fly super high.
And the big one, they're really inexpensive compared to planes, satellites, the usual stuff.
Yeah, the cost difference is huge. We're talking hundreds, maybe thousands of these.
For the price of just a few satellites, it's a numbers game, changing the economics of surveillance. But what's fascinating, I think, is the practicality driving this. Why balloons now? It's about what they can do. When you compare them to planes or even satellites, well, it's a potential game changer for persistent surveillance.
Persistent? How so?
Well, unlike a satellite in low Earth orbit, that's constantly whizzing around.
Right, passes over quickly.
Exactly. These balloons can basically just hover. They can stay over a specific target area for a long time.
Ah, okay. And they're closer, too.
Much closer. Geostationary satellites are way out, 25,000 miles. These balloons, they're down at maybe 30, 40 kilometers.
So the picture's better?
Vastly better image quality. It's a pretty compelling advantage.
And we're seeing this in action already. The sources mention the UK just finished trials. Israel's reportedly using them too, mapping tunnels in Gaza.
That's a very specific tactical use case right there.
And the U.S. Army did a test. Hovered a balloon over Tucson, 60,000, maybe 100,000 feet, for a whole week.
A whole week, yeah. And some designs can potentially stay up for months. That's serious persistence. And if we zoom out a bit, connect this to the bigger picture, it's not just spying, right?
Oh, what else?
Well, France, Italy, Australia, they're using similar tech for monitoring things like wildfires, other climate issues.
Well, environmental monitoring. Makes sense.
And they're also really useful as quick launch tools for disaster response, like hurricanes, earthquakes.
Providing communications when everything else is down.
Exactly. Pop up a balloon, you've got comms, so they're versatile.
Okay, so that's the practical side.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets, well, maybe a bit more unsettling.
Yeah.
The darker side.
Yeah.
Keeping your systems safe is super important as businesses rely more and more on digital systems, and that's where turnkey cybersecurity can really help.
Yeah, we're here to help small businesses just like yours make sure they're safe and sound in this crazy world of cybersecurity. And we offer a whole suite of services specifically tailored for you. So that's ensuring CMMC compliance and doing penetration testing. We also run vulnerability scans, and we can help you develop a comprehensive risk assessment.
And it doesn't stop there, right?
No, it doesn't.
We handle incident response, should the unfortunate happen, and we guide you through migrations like GCC. We just want to make sure your transitions are smooth and that you're secure.
It's all about peace of mind, right? You focus on what you do best, running your business, and we'll make sure that your digital world is safe and sound.
The sources talk about potential risks.
Carrying weapons.
Well, the payload isn't huge, less than a few hundred pounds apparently, but yes, weapons are a possibility. One source even mentioned the chilling term suitcase nuke. Or it can be used as decoys, make you look over here while the real attack comes from somewhere else.
That's worrying. But beyond the physical threat, this raises a really important question about privacy.
Right, because the article mentioned these things don't just see outside.
No, the electronics, the sensors, they can potentially see inside buildings.
Okay, that's a huge leap. What does that mean for, just regular people, our privacy?
It's a massive question. How much becomes transparent to these floating eyes? Where do we draw the line?
Definitely something to think about. Okay, let's pivot from the sky to, the courtroom. AI shaking things up, specifically law. Imagine the smartest lawyer isn't even human. We saw this experiment by Adam Unikowski.
Ah, yeah, the Jenner and Block partner. Very sharp guy.
Super sharp. MIT undergrad, Harvard Law, described as a superstar of the next generation for Supreme Court stuff, and very tech-savvy.
Right, and he did this experiment.
He basically asked an AI the same questions he got from the Supreme Court justices during his Williams v. Reed argument.
And the results were well, pretty stunning, weren't they?
Yeah. What did you find fascinating there?
Just the AI's performance. Unikowski, remember, he won his case. He's good.
Top of his game.
But he admitted the chatbot. It probably would have won too. He said its syntax, its citations, often better than his.
Better. Wow.
Yeah. And it made no mistakes, apparently. And crucially, it kept tying its answers back to the central theme of the case. It wasn't just retrieving info, it was strategizing.
He had that quote, didn't he? Something like,
Oh yeah, I don't want to put myself down too much.
I do have bills to pay.
But I think many of its answers were as good or better than mine. Pretty frank assessment.
And he even got the AI to sound like him, right? To present the oral argument.
He did, which just makes you think back to that offer last year.
The $1 million bounty.
Exactly. For any lawyer willing to argue a Supreme Court case just by repeating what an AI fed them through an earpiece.
Felt like sci-fi then. Feels closer now.
It really does. And it raises that big question, if AI can be above average today. And the prediction is soon, maybe better than the best humans. What happens to paying lawyers thousands an hour?
Yeah. Does the model just break?
It could. And the article points out there aren't really many rules against using AI like this right now. Plus, we're already seeing reports, maybe anecdotal, but lawyers who are maybe ill-prepared or stressed using AI during remote hearings.
So it's already creeping in.
Seems like it, not just theory anymore.
Okay, shifting gears again. This is maybe less futuristic, more just relentless.
Yeah.
Cybersecurity incidents. The sources kind of joked it was a slow news week. But the list of hacks,
Yeah.
I mean, it was an onslaught, wasn't it?
It really was. And what's fascinating, or maybe alarming, is just the sheer diversity and scale. It hit everything.
The critical infrastructure, everyday apps, government.
Yeah, all of it. Just shows how interconnected and maybe fragile things are.
Okay, let's just run through some of this. Sonic Wall, for instance, they had to tell people, look, disable your SSL VPNs.
Yeah, because attacks were just spiking. A huge deal for remote access security.
Then you had the French telecoms. Booz breached bank details for millions gone.
6.4 million, yeah. And Orange, too, France's biggest operator. Hacked. Outages.
Just one after another.
Yeah.
And Microsoft Exchange, the on-premise servers.
Big vulnerability alert there from CISA and Microsoft. High severity. Affects loads of companies' email systems.
So core business functions at risk?
Absolutely. Not just peripheral stuff.
Even dating apps weren't safe. Tea on her.
The men's version of 2 app, right?
Yeah, breach exposed over 70,000 images, including photo IDs.
Oof. And the previous T app breach. Sensitive messages, abortion discussions, really personal data.
And they go higher tech, too. Hacking satellites. Apparently easier than we think.
Yeah, that Black Hat talk described vulnerabilities in satellites and their ground stations.
And even big names like Google and Cisco weren't immune. Their Salesforce instances got hit.
Voice phishing, apparently. Attributed to that group Shiny Hunters, social engineering still works.
Plus security cameras. Access cameras vulnerable. Hackers could take them over, hijack networks, watch live feeds.
That's deeply unsettling, turning security tools into spy tools.
And payment systems. Chinese hackers found a way around MFA and Apple Pay, Google Pay.
Using smishing and social engineering, yeah. Compromising potentially up to 115 million cards. Bypassing multi-factor authentication is a big deal.
Even the internet's plumbing.
Yeah.
The content delivery network, CDNs. Akamai had a bug.
Huge one. Enabled mass credential compromise. Affected almost everyone using them, government, big tech.
Wow.
And Cloudflare got hit by something similar. Allowed traffic redirection. Redirecting web traffic is incredibly dangerous.
So looking at all these, what's the bigger picture here? What's the connective tissue?
Well, if you connect the dots, the supply chain, that theme just keeps popping up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Akamai, Cloudflare, those are infrastructure providers. Get them, you had everyone who relies on them.
Right.
Or groups like Scattered Spider, going after big companies like Aflac, Marks and Spencer. Often they get in through a third-party vendor, a partner, one weak link.
And it cascades, affecting millions.
Exactly. It really underlines the interconnectedness and maybe the fragility of our digital world.
So what does this all mean for you listening, it feels like?
Yeah.
Well, the attackers are finding ways in constantly. The tension between security and just getting things done.
Yeah.
It's always there.
And maybe the attackers often seem to have the upper hand right now.
Okay, let's dig a bit deeper now. Beyond the breaches themselves, some specific concerns came up in the sources. Broader implications. First, this whole AI scraping thing. Perplexity versus Cloudflare.
Ah, yeah, the ethics of data gathering for AI. Cloudflare accused Perplexity of basically hoovering up data from tens of thousands of websites,
Millions of requests a day.
while trying to hide who they were, ignoring website rules like robots.txt.
Perplexity denies it, of course. And legally.
Legally, it's murky. Congress hasn't really set clear rules here yet, so it's a bit of a Wild West.
Then there's Microsoft Recall, that AI tool that screenshots your screen every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Transcribes everything it sees. Everything.
The privacy implications there just feel huge. Oh, absolutely enormous. Think about personal health info, financial data, sensitive work stuff.
Right. Or for companies in regulated industries. Could be lawsuit city if that data leaks.
And the article makes that point. It's risky if your computer isn't 100% secure. Which, let's be honest.
Who's this?
Exactly. Brave browser already moved to block recall from seeing what's in its windows. That tells you something.
Okay, shifting to geopolitics. Cyber warfare, espionage, some really serious stuff reported.
Like Ukraine allegedly getting the specs for Russia's newest nuclear subs, the Bore class.
Yeah, combat layouts, schematics, crew structure, everything. If true, that makes those incredibly expensive subs potentially vulnerable.
A massive intelligence coup, if accurate.
And then the report about Mexican drug cartels hacking FBI credentials in Mexico.
To identify informants, yeah. Leading to their deaths. Just shows the horrific real-world impact these hacks can have. Life and death.
And the consequences are hitting closer to home, too. Cyber insurance, compliance.
Like the city of Hamilton, had an $18 million breach claim denied by their insurance. Why? Because they didn't have complete multi-factor authentication implemented, and weak passwords were part of the problem.
So just having the insurance policy isn't enough? Got to do the basics?
Absolutely. It's a baseline expectation now. We also saw the U.S. federal court system having to tighten its security.
After they got hacked.
Right. Their core systems, ECF and PACER, which manage all the case files and documents compromised by sophisticated attackers, they're playing catch-up.
And CISA finally releasing that report on Chinese hacks of U.S. telecoms.
After apparently sitting on it for over a year. Yeah. Seems political pressure forced their hand. A bit of delayed transparency.
Okay, another big concern. Age verification online.
Oh, yeah. New laws in places like Texas, Alabama, Utah.
Requiring app stores to check ages often means uploading a selfie driver's license.
Which sounds okay on the surface, maybe. But then you remember.
The T-app breach. Millions of government IDs leaked.
Exactly. So now we're forcing more companies to collect this highly sensitive data.
Creating bigger honeypots for hackers.
Potentially, yeah. And the risk of blackmail, especially around adult sites, it's significant. You have to wonder if the age of anonymity online is just disappearing.
Puts a huge burden on companies storing that data too.
Immense. Which is why Google's approach trying to verify age using existing signals rather than asking for IDs seems smarter, more privacy-preserving.
And systemically. Minnesota had to call in the National Guard for a cyber attack.
In St. Paul, yeah. Suggests local resources were just overwhelmed. Shows the scale these things can reach.
Plus, browser extensions. Still a problem.
Still a big problem. The security model is inherently weak, the sources say. They can mess with AI extensions, intercept browser traffic.
And it's not just a bug.
No, that's the key point. It's an architectural issue. There's no easy patch. So they remain a persistent weak spot.
Okay, let's talk consequences.
Yeah.
Especially for companies doing business with the government. The False Claims Act. Seeing more of that.
Definitely seems to be a surge. And remember, the whistleblower angle, the realtor?
Right, they get a cut. Sometimes a big cut.
Up to a third of the settlement. One example cited was $73 million paid out from a $275 million settlement. That's a serious incentive to report fraud or non-compliance.
And the government seems to be getting more aggressive.
Yeah, the rumors mentioned in the sources suggest maybe 100 or more of these cases are in the pipeline. It signals a real focus.
We saw 2 specific examples. AeroTurbine.
Fined $1.75 million. They broke the no foreign access rules for government work, used a provider their private equity firm recommended.
And the government went after the PE firm, too.
They did, sued the PE firm as well, which is pretty rare. Sends a message up the ownership chain.
But AeroTurbine self-reported, right?
Yes, which likely explains the relatively smaller fine. Self-disclosure helped.
And the other one, Illumina.
That was a bigger fine, $9.8 million. They sold software to the government that they knew was defective.
Knowingly defective.
Yeah, and they also didn't have an adequate security program in place. So multiple failings.
So connecting these dots,
Aw.
what's the clear message for government contractors?
It's pretty blunt. The days of a free ride when it comes to cybersecurity are gone. That's a quote from the source material.
Right.
If you sell to the government, you must have proper security programs. You can't sell stuff you know is broken. The fines are real, they're getting bigger, and they're happening.
Okay, finally, let's circle back to some everyday threats, but maybe with new twists. Phishing, not just email anymore.
No, the new angle seems to be QR codes. Those little square barcodes we see everywhere.
Yeah, you just scan them with your phone.
Exactly. And that instinct to just scan, that's what criminals are exploiting. How many of us really stop and think before scanning one?
Probably not many.
So they're putting fake QR code stickers on things like parking meters, maybe public charging stations.
And redirecting payments?
Redirecting payments straight to their accounts. It's simple, kind of clever, and preys on convenience. The FTC is even warning about it.
Wow. Need to look closer at those stickers next time.
Definitely. And there's also that brushing scam the FTC warned about.
Brushing, what's that?
You get a package in the mail you didn't order, usually cheap junk.
Okay, why?
The scammer uses your address to place the order so they can then post a verified purchase review for their dodgy product online, boosting its ratings. It's all about manipulating online reviews.
Weirdly elaborate.
It is. Shows the lengths they'll go to.
And one last thing. This software we use, especially open source, seems free, but...
But there can be hidden risks, yeah, like that Amazon AI coding agent example.
Explain that one again.
So Amazon has this AI tool, helps with coding. Part of it is open source. A security researcher, a good guy hacker, checked out some of that code,
Okay.
made a small change, added a not obvious prompt, basically instructions hidden inside,
What did the prompt do?
told devices running the code to factory, reset themselves, and delete all data.
Oh my God.
He then checked this modified code back into the project, and Amazon apparently approved it
They approved it.
and distributed it, potentially to 1 million machines before the researcher alerted them.
That is terrifying. A malicious actor could have done that.
Absolutely. And it just powerfully illustrates that bigger picture point. Nothing is free in software. Open source is amazing, but it needs rigorous vetting.
Because malicious code can just slip in.
It shows how easily it can be injected, approved, and then pushed out to millions. It's a critical vulnerability. Companies have to be incredibly careful about their software supply chain, even the open source parts.
Wow. Okay. So we've covered a lot. Cutting-edge spy balloons, AI lawyers, that relentless wave of cyber attacks, the consequences for getting security wrong.
It's been quite the journey through the week's developments.
What's the big takeaway for you, looking across all of this?
For me, it's that constant tension, the
Yeah.
push and pull between innovation, all this amazing new tech, and the vulnerabilities that seem to come hand in hand with it.
Yeah.
And just how fast everything changes. It demands constant vigilance, doesn't it? From individuals, from companies, from governments.
It really does. The information you shared, it paints a picture of a world really grappling with these huge technological shifts, where the lines between convenience and security just get blurrier and blurrier. Vigilance seems key. So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something to think about. In this increasingly connected, increasingly automated world, when something goes wrong, when AI makes a mistake or a system gets hacked through a vulnerability, where does the buck stop? Who's truly responsible? Is it the developer, the user, the regulator? And maybe more personally, what active steps can you take listening to this to navigate this complex landscape? To stay informed, yes, but also to stay secure. Lots to consider there.